Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at some really interesting source material focusing on oxidative stress.
Yeah, specifically from a study in free radical biology and medicine and some summary docs. It's all about hydrogen inhalation.
Right, hydrogen inhalation therapy.
Yeah.
So our mission today, unpack this research. What's it telling us about breathing hydrogen?
Exactly. Could it actually impact oxidative stress levels in the body? Let's see what the science says.
Okay, let's jump in. We probably need to start with the basics, right?
Yeah.
Oxidative stress. It involves reactive oxygen species, ROS.
That's right. ROS. Think of them as tiny, very reactive molecules with oxygen. They're actually normal, byproducts of just living, breathing metabolism.
So they're not inherently bad.
No, not always. They have jobs to do. The problem, the sources point this out clearly, is when things get out of balance. Too many ROS, not enough antioxidants to handle it.
And that's oxidative stress.
Precisely. And the sources call it a potential root cause for a whole range of nasty stuff: inflammation, heart problems. It can even damage your cells, your DNA. A bit of a silent threat, really.
And how do they measure that? Is there a test?
The sources mention one called the DROMS test. It looks for specific markers of this damage in your blood. The results come in UCAR units.
Okay. And high levels, like over 350 UCAR, that means significant stress.
Yeah, that's the threshold they used in this study anyway.
Got it. So oxidative stress is the villain here. Where does hydrogen H2 come into play?
Molecular hydrogen. It's fascinating stuff. The sources really highlight its properties. It's the tiniest molecule there is, the lightest.
Which means?
Which means it has remarkable permeability, as they put it. It can slip through cell walls, get into places other antioxidants might not reach, like deep inside the mitochondria, the cell's power plants, and even the nucleus.
Okay. And once it's inside, what's it doing?
This is the crucial part. It acts as a selective antioxidant.
Selective meaning?
Meaning it doesn't just neutralize everything. It specifically targets the really harmful types of ROS, like hydroxyl radicals and peroxynitrite. But it tends to leave the more beneficial ROS, the ones involved in cell signaling, alone.
Clever. It takes out the bad guys but leaves the okay ones.
Basically, it donates an electron to neutralize them. Makes them harmless.
And in the study, they were getting the hydrogen via inhalation.
Yep. Hydrogen inhalation therapy, or HIT. The sources suggest breathing it in is effective and quick acting, especially for acute oxidative stress.
Okay, so tell us about the study itself. How was it set up?
Right. So it was a randomized controlled trial. They recruited 37 people, all with high DROMS scores, remember, over 350 UCAR.
High oxidative stress.
Exactly. They split them. 18 people got a 1-hour session breathing hydrogen from this H2000 device. The other 19 were the control group. They didn't get the hydrogen.
And they measured ROS levels when?
Before the session, so baseline. Then right after the hour was up. And then this is interesting again, 24 hours later.
And the big question, did breathing the hydrogen make a difference?
It sure seemed to. The group that got the hydrogen showed a significant reduction in their blood ROS levels compared to the control group. Statistically significant.
Okay, a drop right after the session. That makes intuitive sense. You just breathed it in.
Right.
But you said they measured 24 hours later, too. What happened then? Did the effect wear off?
Well, this is where it gets really intriguing. The effect didn't wear off. In fact, the reduction in ROS was statistically significant right after, yes.
About 15% drop on average, I think.
Yeah, around 15.0%.
Yeah.
But it was more significant 24 hours later. The average drop actually increased to 23.3% after a day.
Wait, hold on. A bigger drop after 24 hours.
Yeah.
How does that work if they only breathed it for an hour?
It's pretty fascinating, isn't it? It suggests, and the sources touch on this, that hydrogen might have a prolonged effect, maybe because it gets into those cell compartments, the mitochondria and nucleus, during inhalation.
It just stays there working.
Or triggers something that keeps working. It continues neutralizing those harmful ROS over a longer period. Perhaps interacting with things like iron in our hemoglobin helps facilitate this too, acting as that electron donor right where it's needed.
So it's potentially setting off a longer-term beneficial process, not just a quick cleanup.
That seems to be the implication, yeah. A deeper cellular interaction.
Absolutely. So let's bring this home. For you listening, what's the takeaway here?
Well, it seems hydrogen inhalation therapy shows real promise, at least based on this study, for reducing oxidative stress. And not just immediately, but with a potentially lasting effect, given how many health problems are linked to oxidative stress.
Yeah, it's potentially a big deal.
It could be a really interesting strategy down the line.
So this deep dive shows hydrogen inhalation isn't just hype. There's some intriguing science suggesting it can significantly lower oxidative stress. and maybe for longer than you'd expect.
Right. And that leaves us with a question for you to think about. If oxidative stress is such a key factor in health and aging, and something relatively simple like HIT might offer a sustained benefit from even a short session, how could this fit into future wellness? And maybe more importantly, what else do we need to learn to really understand its full potential and long-term impact?